Shannon, Shannon, Shenandoah. She's a star. Back to Caulfield. You got to get up and about. When you get it right, blind chicken can get a bit of corn every now and then. You got to get around it. Regal Zeus. Here we go. Kept to the sprinting distance, was very good, placed at listed level first up, and it's a good go here on a big showdown day. And I know we have a number of deductions, 37 coming out of this race, but into $3.20 on race day. Love it. Nicolini Vito, can he sprint well? Fresh over 6 furlongs. Hutchbuster suggests he can. You've got $4. Bossy Nick's hard fit, brings the Flemington form, gets back to 6 furlongs. Yes, please, says the market into $3.80. Back out to $4. And Prancing Spirit was dragged back from barrier 15 and go back to the Why Worry form here at Caulfield. Can sit up on speed, draws the right barrier. $10 into $9 has been the best backed at the price. A bit more to play out here. Same race multi, ding ding, seconds out. I've been banging on about this all day. And once again, click on your same race multi toggle and you get up to top 4 in this race. Just a smallish field, top 4, have a play around. You get bigger odds. It's fun when you tippity tap the best app. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the 1-800 number or visit the website.
This mounting yard is brought to you by the Vobis Premier Race Series. Over $5 million in Vobis prize money and bonuses exclusive to Vobis Platinum and Vobis Gold horses.
Our second last is the $200,000 Yulong Vobis Gold Sprint over 1,200 metres. Ashford Street, the 1, Hedged, the 2, Perilous Fighter, the 8 are our scratchings. We start our preview, Hutch, with the 3 and the proven commodity in many respects in this race in Nicolini Vito, who we haven't seen since the spring campaign. That we saw probably the best from him sort of at the early part of the spring, which was the latter part of what had been a pretty long campaign right throughout 2024.
And wasn't he consistent, Nigel? Like he just kept turning up and running his usual honest races. They gave him a break after his defeat in the Security, but probably didn't have favours the way that race was run down the straight either. So he's gallant, his work leading in has been good by all the reports, and he's mapping to get a nice run, I think, from gate 5. So with that right run fresh up, he could run well.
This fellow, and he tries his very best every time he's turned out. He's got a great winning strike rate, 40 starts for 8 wins and multiple placings. So you know that he's going to give his all and give a good side at some point. He's been presented in beautiful order for the fresh up for the campaign. Did
a sensational job considering the first run in that sequence was in the Hariba on Mornington Cup Day all the way back in April. 4 is Regal Zeus, who returned with an excellent performance in the listed able behind Brudenell.
There's some good form coming out of the Valley in patches. We saw, of course, in the previous race, Befuddle compete there and go. I know they're different races, but there's been patches of that form throughout the recent 6 to 8 weeks. It's been really solid, and I liked his first up run in the Able Stakes. He went forward. There was no excuses. He was fresh up. He'll strip fitter. I think this is easier. He's been really well supported. He'll go forward and run a bold race.
He looks great today, this horse, and he's one that can typically get very hot and silly on race day. As far as his manners goes, this is excellent for him. He's started to mature a little bit now, the older that he's got, and he has got better and better with each preparation. His coat's a lovely colour, and he naturally is a pretty fit-looking horse.
Regal Bloodstock, also represented by the 5 in Regal Asmon, trained by Philip Stokes and resuming here.
Yeah, I think this should be a nice prep run for him. He looks like he's going to get over a bit more ground. He's drawn wide. He'll probably get back and one to watch for later.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I think he's got a nice base of fitness there. He'll probably tighten up just a little bit more the deeper that he gets into his preparation. He is just a touch fresh today, just getting a little bit warm.
Similar case maybe with the 6 in Quickster, who does have a nomination in for the Group 1 Queen of the Turf in Sydney in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, she's been competing in a lot of stakes races and acquitting herself very well, it has to be said. She's placed 3 from 3 first up. I know the distance is on the short side for her, but you're getting $11.
I really like this mare. I've got a lot of time for her. I think she's a gorgeous type. I love the way that she conducts herself. You can see there the beautiful, happy look on her face. She's very intelligent and does everything right. I think she's in really good order, and I'd be expecting her to hit the line really well here.
Be about the here and now for the $7 chaser, whose last 2 wins are at Lakeside over 1,200.
Yeah, good performance last start. His last 2 have rated really well. Nigel, here's another horse that's, I think he's over the odds. $26 is too big. He maps to get a nice run. He's a 6-time winner, and he's probably in as good a form as ever.
very consistent parade from this fellow. He pretty much looks identical to how he's looked his last couple where I've seen him at Sandown.
9 Prancing Spirit, 5th from barrier 1, and the same impost of 57 kilos in this race 12 months ago when he didn't have a great deal of luck behind Who Dares.
He runs well second up, and he usually needs the run when returning, so I didn't mind the run behind Pivot City. He did what he needed to do. He's 10 into 850. His Caulfield figures are very good, even though he hasn't won. He's another one that would not surprise if he ran a big race.
No, a very nice, consistent parade from this fellow also. I feel like he has tightened up just a little bit from that first up run. I do think that he probably is going to tighten up a little bit more, but he's another one. His shape's a little bit deceiving. He's so deep through his girth and barrel that sometimes it's hard to get a right gauge on him.
10 Bossy Nick was flashing late in the Vobis Gold Comet to have her ready for this.
Well, I thought her run was terrific. I mean, she won over 1,200 two-back. She ran good time, and then, you know, they dropped her back to the 1,000 in the Comet race, and she ran an enormous race without ever really looking like winning. So you'd have to think she'll go close here. She's easing in the marker, but she's a great chance.
Another really nice parade from this girl. She's a darling. She always does everything right, and another girl that's got a great winning strike rate. She rarely runs a bad race, and I'd be expecting her to race really consistently again today.
A bit of a freshen up for the talented mare and the 11 Molly Nickers, who we haven't seen since the Flemington meeting on the 3rd Saturday of January. That, of course, after winning on the Geelong Diamond program on the 1st Saturday of the year.
She was good there. She was well supported. She's 11 out to 13 here. I always feel that she hasn't quite fulfilled that early potential, because as a 3-year-old she looks super exciting, and she looked like she could really go on with it. And that's not to say that there's not more races in it for her, but I think you're getting the right price today.
She's particularly calm, this girl. She's very mature now. She knows her job really well. She is deep into a preparation, but for this kind of distance range, I'd probably prefer her just to even have a bit more pep in her step, get up and about just a little bit more.
Who Dares saw off Semyon, Jigsaw and Ray Magnerio last year. De Jumbuck in 2023. Regards Marie beat a crackfield. Lombardo, the astrologist, went on to win and place in the Goodwood at their next starts after contesting this race in 2022. Hutchie with Regal Zeus to win the Vobis Gold Sprint.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be copping 290 much, Nigel. I think it's probably short enough now, but gee, it's good late support. Bossy Nick is racing well. Nicolini Vito's got to be considered. Prancing Spirit. It doesn't end there. I think there's a lot of chances in this race, and a couple of others there that are bigger odds that would not surprise whatsoever.
Zeus on top for me as well, Hutch. I think he parades in beautiful order. I know this horse very well. I know that he can get quite hot and silly and run his race before he goes out, but sometimes he can still even perform well when he does that. I loved how calm he was. I feel like he started to really mature mentally now. His race pattern's not going to do him any disservice today either, with the way that the track tends to be playing. Quickster is another one. I thought that she's come back here in brilliant order. She looks like she's going to be in for a really nice preparation, and Bossy Nick is another one. What you see is what you get with this girl. I love the way that she tries really hard. She conserves her energy beautifully, and she very rarely puts in a bad race. So happy to have the 4 on top, just ahead of 6 and 10.
Bossy Nick, the 4th and final runner for Tony and Calvin McAvoy on Victoria Owners and Breeders Race Day as she tackles the Vobis Gold Sprint. Calvin, appreciate your time. Just harking back through your 3 runners earlier on this afternoon, the team would have been pretty happy with Heart of Glass's return, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. She ran enormous. I think probably a peak sort of figure, and just ran into a pretty smart horse, didn't we? So, no, she's in for a very good preparation.
You'll be on a black type hunt with her. Where's it likely to head?
Yeah, for sure. Most likely to Adelaide. So we'll look at a race over there, the 1,200 metre race coming up, and she's got a nice pedigree, so if we can get a bit of black type, that'd be terrific.
How's Bossy Nick vaulted out of the Comet performance?
Really good. Look, she's very fit. We don't do a lot with her now between runs, just keep her happy, and we'd love a little bit of cut out the ground, which we're obviously not getting today, and it's been a very hot day, but she's been racing in career best form, good barrier, good jockey, and yeah, expected to be very hard to beat.
Just a matter of Bo trying to find the right position to unleash that sprint we've seen a couple of times through the preparation?
Yeah, definitely. Look, she seems to love Flemington, love the straight, but she's ran well here before, and he should be sort of 3rd, 4th, getting a nice run, and if she can get out at the right time, she's got a nice centre foot.
Go well.
Thank you, Ta.
Here we go, 210. This is a good go, Regal Zeus, but Prancing Spirit too, the best backed outside of the favourite. Let's zero in. Market, please. Thank you, racing.com. There's Stimula. Geez, the punters are up and about. Only a small field here, but Regal Zeus into $2.80 will be your market mover. And Prancing Spirit, the 9, the best backed outside. In between them, Nicolini Vito, rock solid at $3.90, and Bossy Nick also $4.20. It's on like Donkey Kong, but $2.80, that is a market mover. Race 9, number 4, Regal Zeus. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the 1-800 number. Visit the helpline.
Okay, there we have it. There's a look at the favourite, Regal Zeus, on screen. Of course, had that resuming run at the Valley. Brave effort. Gee, you'd love to own him. He is a gallant performer. 21 starts, 6 wins, 5 seconds. And last campaign, that third up run, he really sort of hit a bit of form and just continued that consistency all the way through.
Hutch, you can see bottom left of screen the time amendments for the remainder of the Malvernville program. There is a conundrum here, though. John Kelton is in town, as we know, working both on the Malvernville Parks meeting this afternoon from Caulfield, but in town with the family for the Grand Prix and the Port Adelaide Collingwood game tonight. Celts, it's going to be a close run thing if the last at Malvernville is at 11-7 and you're going to try and get to the first bounce of your beloved Port against Collingwood at the G.
It's going to be tight, Nigel. Hopefully none need to be replated behind the start on Adelaide race 9. I'll be crossing fingers that all horses move in quickly.
Get to the chopper.
Exactly. Speak to Kanga. 4 remaining races at Moorfield. 2 left here at Caulfield. Here's Matt Hill for the Vobis Gold Sprint.
Joe Bowditch, the final one. Regal Asmon with the red hat. And the field's locked away as the red lights twinkle away. Raya sets, racing in the sprint. Prancing Spirit, one of the best away, with also Regal Zeus, the outside, Dollar Chaser and Bossy Nick next. They were followed by midfield Regal Asmon, Nicolini Vito from well back in the field early, Molly Knickers. Onto the course proper, Regal Zeus leading by about a length. Off the rails at the moment from Prancing Spirit. Bossy Nick third, the fence from Dollar Chaser. They were followed by Regal Asmon, a length and a quarter, Molly Knickers, Nicolini Vito and Quickster as last. Regal Zeus the leader and can prove to be hard to run down by about 2.5 lengths. Prancing Spirit. Third is Bossy Nick at the 5.50. They're a length and a half. Dollar Chaser, Regal Asmon, Molly Knickers, Nicolini Vito and Quickster. Coming up around the home corner, Regal Zeus, Stacky looking for a treble at the 400 metres, led 2 lengths. Prancing Spirit, Bossy Nick. They were followed by Dollar Chaser under the whip, Regal Asmon and Quickster to the outside. Regal Zeus, 250 metres to go, nursed in front by a length. Prancing Spirit. Bossy Nick's trying to get into the clear. Regal Zeus a length. Prancing Spirit. Bossy Nick is getting through. Regal Zeus, 50 metres to go, 3/4. Bossy Nick is out chasing. Regal Zeus holding on. Regal Zeus beat Bossy Nick. Prancing Spirit. Then came Regal Asmon, a length and a half away from Nicolini Vito, Molly Knickers, Quickster and Dollar Chaser.
The money hit the target on that occasion. Regal Zeus 350, touch 280, little turn out to 290 late. They wanted to be with her, and that is why, because the hot hand today at Caulfield has been Daniel Stackhouse. He had 2 through the first half of the meeting and he stuck around to get some more cash with a very, very neat effort aboard Regal Zeus for John McArdle. Daniel Stackhouse has been the jockey-elect on this son of Zeus Star, who's now got 7 wins and 5 second placings in 22 career starts. And again, much as the theme of this day, very consistent performances with some of these gallopers, but also constantly going back to the well of good Vobis prize money. His most recent victory was the Vobis Gold Star on Cox Plate Eve during the spring. That race worth $175,000. This sprint contest worth $200 today. Wedged in between them was a great performance first up in the listed Able behind a handy sprinter in Brudenell. Be good to chat to the camp and see what they might be able to find for him in stakes grade as the Festival of Racing exits, and we still have some pretty good racing to come through April. Bossy Nick, very good. Thought we were going to have a little bit of a battle between the brothers-in-law, Bo Mertens and Tom Stockdale there at one stage. They've gone 2-3 with their respective rides. Regal Asmon makes a pretty nice return out over the 1,200 metre trip. But all honours to the other Regal, Zeus, 4:10.95 in the sprint.
Yeah, well done to Johnny McArdle and the team. And as we said, this gelding by Zeus star Amy, he has been so brave and consistent since pretty much third run of last preparation. He's just hit form, the pennies dropped, loved it today. I mean, he jumped, he got it across with ease, he was beautifully rated, and he does what he always does. He's in for the fight. Obviously, Bossy Nick was launching late off that softer run and got closest at the finish, but if you're on the favourite, you're on pretty good terms.
You'd take him in the trenches with you, this fellow, wouldn't you? He's brave, his race pattern means he needs to be rock hard fit, he's always going to be vulnerable late. What he does though is he tries his butt off, he really does, he never lays down. And we know now too that he's even at better over just a little bit further, so for him to put in probably a PB performance just about in one of these sort of races, I think it's showing that he's in really, really good order. And sure someone that's very happy to tell us all about it is Danielle Smith, who joins Nigel.
Thanks, Amy. The face of John McArdle Racing and Danielle Smith joins us. The year-long Vobis Gold Sprint goes the way of Regal Zeus, who is just an absolute beauty and I'm sure climbing the ranks of stable favourite.
Yeah, he is. He's you know, a fully furnished product now, and he just goes out every time. He tries his best. Coming today, 1,200 isn't his ideal distance, but after he ran second the other night at Moonee Valley, his rating went up a bit higher. And it's really hard to find those mile races for him now. So John's freshened him up this week and really made sure he had that freshness in his legs to be able to stick at the 1,200 today.
What's it taken for him to become that sort of finished article?
Yeah, I remember taking him to his first start at Sandown. He walked around looking for his mum all day, and he just needed to be gelded. And after that, he just took a prep to really sort of develop and fill out. And mentally, he can be a bit hot and fizzy, so he's just taken a little while to know his job and be able to relax and get it done.
What is it about Daniel Stackhouse's riding style that you think suits him too?
They just get along so well. Since the day Daniel got on, he's just, you know, always ridden him so well. The horse goes well for him, and they just seem to have a perfect partnership.
Terrific job, Danielle. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, nice performance, tough win, and form stacked up once again, and all that late support for Regal Zeus. I think they'd be happy enough with Bossy Nick, Prancing Spirit second up as well here. And the other Regal, as Nigel said, probably the horse to follow going forward, Amy.
Yeah, really good run. He looked like he had a fair bit of improvement to come too, so for him to hit the line like he did, it's a great performance. And I dare say it's probably, I'm assuming John McArdle's over at Adelaide yearling sales, and I dare say it's probably beer o'clock for him over there, Hutch, now.
Yeah, well, we've had a few free drinks here, so I'm sure that he'll be keeping that for another day, but maybe making up for it as we head back to hear from Dan Stackhouse.
You are correct, Amy Yagi. I feel for whatever is in the taps of Adelaide coming the way of one Jay McArdle, who'd be happy with Regal Zeus and happy with Daniel Stackhouse after the victory in the Vobis Gold Sprint. Stacky, well done. I thought you were almost going to get chaired to the jockey room by a very happy and excited ownership group. What can you tell them about the Gallopers win?
Oh, he's just a ripper, this horse. You know what you got to get on racetrack every time he goes out there, and he's just got a great gate speed. He's got a nice high cruising speed, and he just enjoys it. Like, you can just see having his ears pricked, and he just loves his work. You just let him do the work. You're just sitting there for the ride, and then you ask him to go, and he's down for the fight as well.
No disadvantage to be parked where you were, and typically at Caulfield on days like this, but he still had to pull out a bit to hold off a couple of handy ones. What did he actually do with you to do that?
Yeah, look, I was really happy the way he sort of travelled throughout, especially around the circle. Just wanted to hold him together as long as I could, and I find him he's a lot more effective when I have the whip in the left hand. But I felt like they were never going to get to him. Like, he sort of held a strong gallop, and 1,200 is really realistic, it's too short for him as well. So it's exciting when he gets to 14 in a mile.
Great start to his prep, mate. Continue with you in the saddle.
Thanks, Nigel. Cheers.